live. What is good, everybody? We are in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, for the welterweight and women's strawweight championships of the world, where we have the pound for pound number one fighter in the world, Islam Makhachev, boasting a 28-1 record, going up against the surging contender Ian Machado, the future Garry, 17-1. Not the best card in terms of name value. Been saying that a lot for recent numbered events, but this is perceived as the best pound for pound fighter in the world. We get to see him fight against a worthy adversary in Ian Garry, regardless of the shenanigans and the out of cage antics that he puts himself in. He is a good fighter. We have to separate the person from the actual product, like what he provides inside the cage, and he is a good fighter. To have gone 18 fights and be victorious in 17 of them, with his one loss being Shavkat, I think speaks volumes. But all in all, again, like I said, not the strongest in name value, but we're in Philadelphia and we're MMA fans, so here we are. Mike, if there's anything you'd like to add, feel free.
Obviously not the best in terms of packedness. Like, we went from having a fucking international fight week Conor McGregor card to just slop, like full on slop, man. We got a Yusri Belgary victim as a featured fight, I believe. Let me see the featured fight again. No, the featured fight is a Jalen Turner featured fight. Oh man, this is fucking shit. I ain't really got nothing much else to say. We could start it. We could hit it off already. I don't want to yap too much about it.
Sounds good. As we kick it off in the welterweight division, where we have Philadelphia's own, if I'm not mistaken, Jeremiah Wells, 13-4-1, representing the United States, going up against Kyrgyzstan's Miktabek Oralbai, 16-2-1. He is the biggest favorite on this card. The line has gotten out of control, admittedly, but I get it. Miktabek Oralbai, you look at him, you think caveman, you think Neanderthal, you think of people like that, but to have gone 19 fights, 16 wins, I think that speaks volumes of how good of a fighter he is. He's very well-rounded. He's got decent power for a grappling base. His grappling, I think it speaks volumes. Was able to make short work of Uros Medic and Tafik Musayev, who are very dangerous strikers, as we've seen recently in their careers. Went the distance with Chris Curtis, but he's known to have elite takedown defense north of 80%, and he got taken down like 10-plus times in that fight. So I think that speaks to the wrestling of Miktabek Oralbai. Not too really extensive breakdown in this one for me. I just think Miktabek's the better fighter. Jeremiah, he's on the older side, but athletically very explosive, as you could see from his build. A lot of power, a lot of viciousness in his striking. It's not the most technical, but it's aggressive to say the least. But I'm going to go Miktabek Oralbai, and I'm going to go by second round submission. I just feel like the pace in the grappling exchanges is going to kind of take away the explosiveness and the danger of Jeremiah Wells. And his brand of submissions is like chokes. Like, I'm thinking like power guillotines and things along that line, like rear naked chokes. I don't see Oralbai putting himself in those bad positions. Lighter man skill coming from lightweight. Too much of a breakdown than I really need to have. I just think Oralbai is better. Second round sub.
My turn?
All right. Yes.
All right. My bad. Not really a tough fight at all to call. I think Jeremiah Wells is just shit. He's like, I remember I watched one of his recent fights. It was that Guyanese dude. I forgot his fucking name. Beating Themba Garimba, that's not really a big thing.
Carlston Harris. I know you're talking about.
Carlston Harris, yeah. That was a shit fight. He had the fight in his fucking hands, and it was a boring fight, and then it just ended up him getting anaconda choked. I don't really like Jeremiah Wells' his mental toughness. Obviously, it's not my line to call, but I just don't see him. His wins don't really excite me, other than I rate Miktabek Oralbai's fucking win over Chris Curtis over Themba Garimbo. Themba Garimbo is only known for being fucking poor. Let's just call it a spade here. He's only known for because The Rock bought him a house. He's broke. He
Yeah.
had $12. I'm not trying to shit on him for that. I'm not trying to shit on him
No, these are
because
facts.
obviously
These are the facts. This is simply what this is what he's known for. This is the truth.
exactly. If bro didn't get a house bought by the by him, bro would just be your regular guy that just sleeps in the gym. But yeah, I'm going with Miktik Orobai. I think he's gonna catch him going. I think he's the better and bigger striker. I think Miktik Beck is finally at his weight class. He doesn't have to fucking drain himself to go to 155. I like that. I'm gonna go with a second round counter KO. I could see him catching him in the late first. I could see him subbing Jeremiah Wells. This is gonna be a bad start for Philly guys, man. I think they're fucked, man. I already hate Philadelphia as a fucking state as it is, as a city as it is. So I'm gonna enjoy the downfall. Let's go second round. I'll go second round counter shot KO. I think he catches him.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, Miktabek, the skill gap, I just think it's there. He's fighting lightweights. He's fought middleweight and Jack Hermanson. He's fought like a middleweight, like welterweight and Chris Curtis. Like he's just fighting so many different styles, and he's still imposing as well. Very impressive. As we move on to the welterweight division again, where we have the veteran Neil Magny, 31-14, going up against Ramiz Brahimaj, 13-6.
Can I kick it off? Can I kick it
Feel
off?
free. Feel free.
You know, at first I was gonna go with Ramiz Brahimaj, but I re-looked at some fights, man. He looks like shit. He looks like a fucking Neil Magny victim waiting to fucking happen. If bro doesn't catch Neil Magny, bro, he's in for a rude. Losing to Punelli Soriano by fucking decision is horrible. That is a horrible gap. Like, I know Punelli is like, oh, he's this KO guy. He's so fucking awesome. When has like, if you're losing by decision to this motherfucker, you deserve to lose. Beating Austin Vanderford, little bro. Congratulations, everybody in Bellator has done it. Billy Ray Goff is dog shit. Mickey Gall, oh, you beat Mickey Gall. Who hasn't? Oh, you lost to Themba fucking Garimbo. That is even worse. You lost to a homeless man. That's fucking horrible. Court McGee, exactly. Bro, I'm going Neil Magny. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm going with Neil Magny. I just can't see myself picking him. I think he's mid, man. If you don't finish Neil Magny, you're fucked. That's just how it goes, man. Neil Magny is like I can't believe I'm saying this. He's a crafty fucking bet. Like, bro is like, he's there in the fight. Like, I can't really hate on Neil Magny as much. I know people see him as like mid and stuff, but with these type of level of opponents, he's actually really good. Look who he's only losing to. His last loss was scroll down. I think his last loss was, bro, that's not bad. He lost to Yaroslav Amosov, Carlos Prates, Michael Morales, and a couple other names. Tony's gonna scroll. Yeah, these are not bad. Ian Garry, who's in the main event, I hated that fucking fight because of how Ian Garry ruined him. I'm not picking Neil Magny because of like, oh, he's in the same card. I feel bad for him. I'm gonna go with Neil Magny. No, I just don't think Ramiz Brahimaj is good. I think the people that Neil Magny's fighting would fuck up Ramiz Brahimaj. I'm gonna go with Neil Magny. I know he's old. I know this is gonna look like a bad pick if I get this one wrong, but I don't trust Ramiz Brahimaj. I'm gonna go with the third round finish for Neil Magny. The Haitian sensation rises to the top again. If he loses, I don't know if I can confidently pick him again. But this is my first time in a long time that I'm confident in picking the Haitian sensation, Neil Magny.
Yeah, I think Mike said everything needed to be said. We are not avid fans of Neil Magny's style per se, but you do have to look at his resume. This is a guy who's been in 45 pro fights, and look at who he's losing to. Yaroslav Amosov. I mean, he's just a nasty grappler. Carlos Prates, probably the most prolific knockout artist in the division right now. Michael Morales, a guy who I think is a champion in the making. Ian Machado Garry, a guy fighting for a title who's 17-1 in 18 fights. Gilbert Burns, a former title challenger. Yes, he's on the decline now, but that was when he was like, I guess, semi better than what he is now. Shavkat Rakhmonov, the boogeyman of the division. Like, look who he's losing to. Chiesa, not the best, but it's a name. He's a grappler. Prime Santiago Ponzinibbio. And I want to look not only just at his losses, but specifically the people that are finishing him. He's been knocked out 4 times. He's getting knocked out by Michael Morales, Carlos Prates, Lorenz Larkin, and Prime Santiago Ponzinibbio. Do we think Ramiz Brahimaj has any is comparable anywhere like to that level on the feet? No. And to prove that, in all of his wins, bro, it's like I would say like Mike said, Ramiz needs to catch Neil Magny, bro. It's kind of worse than that. He needs to like catch and choke Neil Magny. He only has 1 knockout in all of his fights. Where is it? He only has 1 knockout win in 13 pro wins. All of his wins are submission, and he's 0-5 to decisions. The longer this fight goes, like Mike said, the experience, the cardio, it speaks for itself. I'm kind of shocked Neil Magny's an underdog. For Ramiz Brahimaj to win, he needs Neil Magny to like shoot an ugly takedown right into like a guillotine or like
He's
a front choke.
Underdog?
Yeah. Ramiz Brahimaj is a slight favorite closing going into the fight. I will say he trains with Bilal Muhammad, who is very aware of the Neil Magny type style, so maybe he could be trained for it. But he's got 1 pro knockout in like 13 wins. All of his wins are subs. Neil Magny, most of his losses out of the 14, 7 of them are submissions. But let's look at that. I showed you who knocked out Neil Magny. Who is subbing Neil Magny? Yaroslav Amosov, who I know is a better grappler than Ramiz Brahimaj. Who else? Gilbert Burns. On paper credentials, you have to say he's a better sub threat and grappler than Ramiz Brahimaj. Even though in MMA he probably has more submissions. Ramiz. Shavkat Rakhmonov. Maybe you could argue Ramiz is a better grappler, but he's got long arms, and like Shavkat does have sub game. Michael Chiesa was grappling. Who else subbed him? Rafael Dos Anjos. He's small, former lightweight, but grappling skill and acumen I would rate higher than Ramiz Brahimaj. So
plus that was a younger RDA too.
Damian Maia. I mean, he's like one of the kings of BJJ. Sergio Moraes, another Brazilian BJJ guy. Like these are decent grapplers. Andrew Trace, I would say, is the only one Brahimaj is better than grappling-wise. So he's only getting knocked out by elite fighters, and he's only getting subbed by elite fighters. I just don't think Ramiz Brahimaj is an elite fighter. I'm going to go with the Haitian sensation like Mike, but I'm going to go his vintage. I just think the disparity in decision experience is immense here. This is a guy who's 0-5 going against a guy who's 17-3 in decisions. Give me Neil Magny by decision, signature, vet, crafty performance. As we go with the underdog, clean sweep streak keeps rolling. Let's get to the next fights. Let's see. But yeah, give me Neil Magny by decision as we head to the next fights where we have, where is it? Yeah. A battle of Brazilian light heavyweights, one making their debut. We got Rafael Tobias, 14-2, going up against the debutant, Lucas Fernando, 13-3. Interesting fight here in the light heavyweight division. Both these guys, Tobias is younger, and they relatively have similar amount of fight experience in terms of number of fights. But in terms of competition, I actually think Lucas Fernando has some names that are decent. He is losing to some middleweights, but let's look at these names. The losses are Azamat Bekoev, who is a middleweight, but not a bad fighter from LFA. Cesar Almeida, decent glory kickboxer. I know he just got slimed out by Penis, but this was before that. You know, this is a guy who went the distance with Alex Pereira in kickboxing. This Diego Diaz guy, I think, fought in PFL. He's like 20-7 now. His loss, he has more losses than Tobias, but Tobias didn't look great in that DR Nergazé fight. He had a couple submission attempts that did look like they were in, but for you not to be able to exploit the grappling gap with DR Nergazé, I think that's really bad because that's kind of been DR's problem in the UFC. Like, I know I'm going off tangent, but I'm only bringing it up here. DR's losses, like in his career, are all submissions, and I picked Tobias to beat DR, and he couldn't even do that. DR has got good boxing, but I think the gap in striking here is kind of visible. I don't like Tobias on the feet. I feel like he's grapple or bust. If he doesn't get the sub, I also don't think he has great cardio. I kind of question the people he's fighting. Like I'm seeing 0-0, 0-0, 1-2, 3-1. Like I feel like he had a stat padded record. Then he fought in LFA, and then he went to the UFC, and I mean, he lost his debut. This guy has an opportunity to win his debut. He's 6 years old, or he's fought better competition. I'm gonna go third round TKO, Fernando, because I just think Tobias's gas tank is sus. Maybe he can have success in the first round. That could be a sign of an underdog pick, but I'm going against it. I'll go Fernando, third round TKO.
Yeah, I'm going with Lucas Fernando as well. Wasn't like I think Tony just nailed it on the button on the performances. You can't sub Dr. Nurgaze, who's been subbed before, easily. I your grappling must be ass. I'm gonna go with I'll go second round finish for Lucas Fernando.
Clean sweep streak keeps on rolling as we head to the next fights, where we have a battle in the middleweight division between Vicente Luque, 24-12-1, going up against Trayshawn, Mr. Vicious Gore, 6-4. Rhymes, so it must be true. This is about a pick'em fight. It's like I've always had a bit of a like hard to trust Luque in fights ever since the brain hemorrhage, for obvious reasons from the Jeff Neal fight. But funny enough, I did pick and bet him in the next fight he would fight against Rafael Dos Anjos in his career after that fight. And aside from the Joaquin Buckley TKO, like, he hasn't really looked that bad from like the durability standpoint. But I'm gonna go Vicente Luque by decision. I just think he's the better fighter everywhere this fight goes.
Yeah, I'm going with Luque as well. I don't really like Trayshawn Gore's like mentality. He'll lose a fight, then he'll start like losing his faith in God and stuff like that, and starts blaming it on stuff. Like he copes very badly on his losses. I don't like it. And Luque, I know he's not really looking like the best version of himself, but I don't know if Trayshawn Gore would do what Luque did to fucking gasl him. I'm gonna go with a Vicente Luque win. I'm gonna go with a signature here. I'm gonna go with I think he's gonna continue the Darce choke special. Maybe I could see a finish coming in. He does. He still shown to like have decent hands still. So I think I don't think Luque is fully done yet. I obviously if it's like against a bigger and like better comp, I'll pick against him. But for now, I think this is the time to pick Luque while it's still good. I'm gonna go with a second round club and sub Luque win. I could see a first round finish for club and sub. I could even see him knocking him out, but I'm gonna go with a club and sub here for Vicente Luque.
Clean sweep streak keeps on rolling. I would say like Gore needs to catch him because like jiu-jitsu, striking, technicality, strength of schedule, just fights in general, like he has more experience. And yeah, I just feel like Luque is the better fighter. As we move on to the middleweight division, where we have undefeated Dante Johnson going up against Eric Makhachev. I could understand people having skepticism with Dante Johnson coming off the Cody Brundage fight, which was a split decision, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I know people that felt like Cody Brundage won that fight. I could understand wanting to fade him, just given that a majority of his fights end in like early, so we don't really know what he looks like if the fight goes past round one historically. Even in the amateurs, his one loss was against this guy. He got head kicked. So Makhachev is not the worst striker in the world. Like he can throw a punch and throw a kick. Like he has a pulse. But I just can't help but notice, like, Makhachev, all of his 4 pro losses are by knockout. So I do question durability. He's 36 years old. He will have a reach advantage in this fight, and I do kind of think he trains at a better gym, at MMA Lab. They can cook up probably a game plan. But I've seen Dante Johnson in round 2 in the UFC against Hendrikas Dumas. Like he's gone past round in back-to-back fights. He went to the second round against Dumas, and he went the full distance against Brundage. I know Makhachev beat Brundage by split decision, by the way, but I kind of feel like Brundage is more durable and more game than Makhachev. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I just feel like Brundage just got more dog and more willingness to fight. I'm gonna go. I'm torn between first and second, but I'm gonna go an early knockout here for Dante Johnson. I just think he's gonna be aggressive. He's gonna turn the reach advantage for Makhachev into a disadvantage. I think he's going to close distance. He's going to pressure him. He's going to get up in his face, and he's going to knock him the fuck out. That's how I see this fight going. So I'll go. He kind of needs a performance that's going to regain hype. I think I see what the UFC is doing here, giving him against a guy where all of his losses are knockout. Give me first round Dante Johnson. Coming off of 2 fights that were kind of not good for his standard, I think he's going to go back to his old ways. Give me first round knockout Dante Johnson.
Tony, check your iMessage, and yeah,
Bet.
I'm going with Tony as well. I'm gonna go with the Dante Johnson. I think he needs to revive himself a little. The hype kind of died down after a split decision against fucking what's his face. Sorry, cut off guard. My ADHD kind of mixed up there.
Cody Brundage.
Yeah, Cody Brundage. This split decision's bad. I'm going with I'll go with the first round. I think he needs this first round because bro hasn't knocked anybody out in the first in a minute. I mean, he looked really good against Cedricus Dumas, but Cedricus Dumas is mid, so we'll have to see. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. And yeah, I'm gonna go with a first round finish by Dante Johnson.
And just to talk about that Dumas fight real quick. Dumas, like, more so ever than any fight in his UFC career, like, made it a mission to try to grapple Dante Johnson. Like, he didn't necessarily want to fight. That was, like, the least aggressive I've seen Dumas. Not in the sense of, like, he was aggressive in closing distance and, like, trying to get on him. But, like, for him not to want to strike, that's saying something. So I feel like that's why Dante went to the second in that fight. But clean sweep for Lockjaw, nonetheless, as we head to the next fight on the card, where are we at? Ooh, that's a good one. A good one in the flyweight division, but this is going to be at a catchweight of 130 due to the short notice replacement. This was originally Jose Ochoa, but he had to pull out. And now we get Eduardo Chapelin, a guy who has won the LFA title at flyweight, I believe, and even made a Contender Series appearance against a former LFA opponent as well. He won his Contender Series fight, but didn't get the contract, so Dana must have not liked what he saw. But as for this fight, you know, I can understand, like, picking Charles Johnson, just given that this is an easier opponent by default, especially on the feet, I would imagine. Like, Jose Ochoa, I was thinking was going to give Charles Johnson problems on the feet. But I can't help but feel like Johnson, his last couple, just hasn't looked the same, bro. Like, Alex Perez caught him in the first. Asu Alambayev dominated him, like, in every way, shape, and form of MMA, and literally banana split Suluev stretched him. He gave him a sex change in that fight. I'm sorry. Like, let's just call it what it is. I did not expect Asu to do that. I thought he'd win a decision that was competitive. He dominated Charles Johnson, and that's a grappler first. Chapelin has a grappling kind of like background too, but I reckon on paper he's just like a bigger than Asu, and I think would be a better striker. Charles Johnson does have a weird knack for fucking messing up these prospects, but Chapelin's a prospect. He's 30. He's got like 17 pro fights. I feel like he's kind of not a vet, but like not a rookie. I feel like he's seen some shit. He's been in some championship fights at LFA. I don't like what I've been seeing from Johnson. I think Chapelin's well-rounded. He's never been knocked out. Charles Johnson doesn't really go for subs. Charles Johnson doesn't have the best of luck in decisions. I'm going to go with the short notice replacement. I'm going to go Chapelin by decision. I just feel like he's just going to look like the better fighter everywhere. He's going to in the striking. He'll get takedowns if he needs to. Yeah, I just don't like what I'm seeing from Charles Johnson.
That's a big dog shot for Tony. Wait, you picked the other guy or did you pick Johnson?
I picked Chapelin, but funny enough, the odds aren't as crazy as you would think. He's only a pick 'em.
I'm going to go with Charles Johnson. I am going to go Charles Johnson. I don't really know too much about bro. Maybe if I did more tape around him, it's kind of like late notice for us to do tape on him. Uh, I'm gonna go with the Charles Johnson decision here. I don't think he'll finish him, but I think he'll win like a very close decision. Not very confident in a Charles Johnson pick, obviously, but I would if he doesn't win this, I'm never picking him to win another fucking fight. That's just how I'm gonna go.
I feel that.
But yeah, we'll keep it short and sweet. I'll go Charles Johnson decision. I think it'll just be like, oh, he earned his stripes by going the distance into a close fight with Charles Johnson.
Clean. Oh yeah, my bad. The clean sweep streak has been broken as we head to the welterweight division. Mike, I'm actually gonna let you take the lead on this. I'm gonna do something real quick. I'll be right back.
All right, we got Joel Alvarez versus Chidi Njokuani. Uh, Obviously, y'all know I don't like Joel Alvarez. I think he's a bully. I think he's good at being a bully, like fighting the shorter, low reach, low height type of people. I don't like that. I think that's scummy. Uh, I'm not a big fan of that. Like if you're a tall ass dude, you should fight somebody your own size. He's finally been fighting some people his own size, so I'll give him credit. He got his ass whooped by Yaroslav Amosov, W Man's Yaroslav. And I know what y'all think. By the tone, I'm gonna go with Chitty. Nah, I'm gonna go with Joel Alvarez. I don't like Chitty's style. I think he looks mid. I don't think he's young. I don't think he's got the age to beat Joel. Uh, don't get me wrong. I would love a Chitty Njokuani slime out win. I don't like Joel Alvarez more than most. I don't like him. I think he's a bully. I think he's very good at fight. I think he just loves fighting people half his size and frame. But I'll go with the Joel Alvarez win. I think he's gonna finish Chitty. If Chitty don't catch him, he's fucked. I'm gonna go with a second or third round finish for Joel Alvarez. I think he's gonna catch him late because Chitty's best round is the first round. I'd like to think. So if he doesn't get him out of there, he like I said, he's toast. So I'm gonna go with a Joel Alvarez finish here, second or third.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Joel Alvarez as well. This was originally supposed to be Chidi Njokuani versus Jeff Neal, which I think right about now, especially coming off the Uros Medic slime out, like that Chidi could have had a pretty decent chance in that. Catching Jeff Neal coming off a knockout loss, now he faces Joel Alvarez, kind of a completely different style. Jeff Neal is primarily kind of just a boxer who has really good takedown defense. Joel Alvarez, I think there's a bit more nuance. There's more layer to his game. He can play the kicking game. Coming from the lightweight division, lighter man skill, just more of a speed frequency, just like better skill overall. He's very much willing to go for submissions, very much willing to engage in grappling in the clinch. He's just more of a layered fighter than Jeff Neal would have been. So I think this is more of a tougher fight for Chitty, in my opinion. For Joel, the one concern I do have for him in this fight is, like Mike said, I actually, as a Joel, Mike can attest to it, I'm a very big Joel Alvarez fan. I do agree with him on his sentiment that he is a bit of a bully, in the sense that, being 6'3" with like 77-inch reach at lightweight. Personally, if it was up to me and I was his management, I would have told him stay at lightweight, be the bully, bro. Fuck all this. Why are we going to welterweight? Let's take advantage of being the bigger and nastier guy. But at welterweight, it's more of an easier cut for him. His durability, specifically his endurance and his stamina, I think, is improved. As we saw in the Vicente Luque fight, that was a bit of a weird one because, like, the ref in that fight was odd. Like, there were opportunities for finishes, and Joel didn't really pounce on it like he thought he would. But now he gets Chidi Njokuani, who, like Mike said, his best round is going to be the first round. His style, I don't really think it necessarily ages well into a fight. I think he's very dynamic, very explosive and dangerous early. But I kind of feel like the longer the fight goes, the better fighter often wins. And I think Joel Alvarez is the better fighter, not just in win-loss record, but in skills overall in MMA. And I agree with Mike. I think it's going to be a second round finish. I'm going to go submission because yes, I could see Joel Alvarez catching him, but the fight that makes me think of this is the Jake Matthews fight, where he kind of had success on the feet in a boxing exchange and then was able to scale the back of Chidi Njokuani and was able to get a rear naked choke in the first. I don't think it's going to be as easy as perfect as Jake Matthews had it, but I think Joel Alvarez will pressure, will try to take the back of Chidi Njokuani, scale his back, and eventually get to that choking position. I think he can hurt him on the feet, and his takedown defense is all right, but I just feel like lately you look at his opponents. He was able to beat Zaleski. He's a bit older. Jared Gooden, not as good and as young as Joel Alvarez. Yeah, I'm gonna go second round submission, Joel Alvarez. I just think he's a better fighter everywhere. This is a tougher fight for Chidi than Jeff Neal would have been. So yeah, I'm gonna go second round submission for El Phenomenino as the clean sweep streak is back as we head to the main card opener. Also, yeah, Joel Alvarez prelim headliner. I think they're doing something there. They obviously want him to look good. Main card opener, a battle of Brazil and Argentina. Edson Barboza, the veteran, 24-14, going up against Esteban Ribovic, 15-3. I am going to go with El Gringo here. It's just a matter of Edson's 40, the droopiness in his eye. Bro, like, Mike, did I not say that, like, some damn fights ago, like a while ago? And, like, I said, yo, something wrong with his eye. And, like, it's only gotten worse and worse and worse. I'm not trying to make fun of Edson. I'm just saying, like, I called that before, like, it got as visible as it is now.
Yeah, he's been talking about that shit for a minute.
I thought his shit was I was tripping, but his orbital, like, yeah, it don't look right. Anyways, Edson's old. He's on a 3-fight losing skid. He's 40. He's still in phenomenal shape. Maybe on juice, but like he's still in crazy shape. But he is losing. He's taking a whooping in some of these fights. The Lerone Murphy fight, he got boxed up, something fierce in 5 rounds. Jalen Turner got first rounded. Jakar Close, just the state of him in that fight didn't look good. There were moments where Edson was trying to engage in the clinch up against the fence against Jakar Close. Bro, you're Edson Barboza. You're supposed to be fucking him up on the feet, frying his legs with kicks, head kicks, body kicks. You're supposed to be doing all this and that. His speed, his explosiveness, the age is visible. Like, he looks 40. As for his counterpart, Esteban Ribovic coming off of a very bad performance against Gamrot, where I picked him, bad pick, but didn't expect him to be so easy. He just got manhandled in the grappling, got destroyed by Gamrot. Before that, had a somewhat competitive fight against Brenner, lost a split to Hakparast, won a split against El Huber. That is something I will say about Ribovic. You would think he would have more of a margin of victory by finish, but his last, 3 of his last 4 fights are like close decisions. 2 of them, but like the Brenner fight, it was unanimous, but on strike count, he was able to equate it in the fight in the third. So I'm going to go Ribovic. I'm just torn between a late finish and a decision because I could see this shit going to a decision. Ribovic doesn't get knockouts like you think he would. It's unless you're Terrence McKinney. Yeah, like literally in the UFC, his one lone knockout is Terrence McKinney. Couldn't knock out Zell Huber where Bobby Green did. I know Bobby Green's better, but still, he's not known for power. Nasrat Hakparast was able to kind of box his head up a little bit. If you're taking a shot with Edson, I mean, shit. In terms of technique, he's better, but I'll go Esteban Ribovic by decision. I think low key, bro, like, what's it called? Edson might have some moments on the feet, and Ribovic might have to actually wrestle and take him down and win the fight off that. It could be some shit like that. I'll go Ribovic by decision. He should get a knockout, though.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ribovic here. If this was like 5 years in the making, I would pick a Edson Barboza crafty vet TKO win here. But he hasn't been looking the same since. So I'm gonna go with Ribovic. I think he's gonna stop him in the first. Unfortunately, I like Edson, but I think his time is closing. I'm going with a first round finish, Edson Barboza. Ooh, we gotta hurry.
Yeah, I got you. As we move on to the next fight in the middleweight division, where we have Mansour Abdul Malik 9-1-1 going up against Dustin Stoltzfus 16-8. Not too much breakdown for me on this one. I picked Stoltzfus against Gastelum. Not doing that again. Give me Mansour Abdul Malik by first round knockout. I just think he's a significantly dynamic athlete coming off of his first pro loss. as well as getting finished for the first time. I think he's pissed off. I think he shows it. I think he's mean, vicious, first round knockout. Goes back to what he looked like coming into the UFC.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mansour Abdul Malik as well. I'm not really. I wasn't loving the thing, but Yusuri Belgari is not a bad fighter. Uh, there's times where I wanted to fucking pick him and I never jumped the gun. Uh, so it's nothing wrong with losing to him. I'm gonna go with the Mansour Abdul Malik first or second round KO. I'll go first round KO.
Agreement there as we move on to the feature fight of the evening in the lightweight division where we have Jalen the Tarantula Turner. Is that correct? Going up against Cowie Fernandez. Is that right? Yeah, he is. This is a tough one. Jalen Turner is the bigger guy, 6'3", 75-inch reach, former welterweight. He's kind of finish or bust for me, though. I'm not going to lie. Like, 0-4 to the decision. Doesn't age into the fight well because usually by the time he's settled in, the guy's unconscious from a choke or a knockout. He does have some good wins in his career. Edson, Bobby Green, those are names that we recognize. Uros Medic at lightweight. I want to say that was the fight that made Uros go to welterweight, coming off that loss. And just in general, in terms of competition, very much Jalen Turner has fought the better people in comparison to Cowie Fernandez. But that being said, I'm actually going to go Cowie Fernandez. I just think the calf kicks are going to take away the reach and the explosiveness of Jalen Turner. I think if this fight leaves the first round, that drastically swings in the direction of Cowie Fernandez, in my opinion. I think even though he's 3-2 to the decision, I'm looking at how he's losing these fights. He lost a split to Mark DeCase, who I do think Jalen Turner is way more dangerous and just a better fighter in general than DeCase, but he wrestles more than Turner does. He probably won the fight off of that, like minute winning. And his other loss was an LFA against a guy who's 9-2 in Luan Sardina, who's 5'10". Turner's bigger than that. But like I said, I think Turner is finish or bust. He's 0-4 in decisions. I don't think his style ages well into a fight. I think if Cowie makes it out of the first round, even if he loses the first round, I think he can win the next two. I'm going to go Cowie Fernandez by decision, where the kicks would take away the power, the footwork of Jalen Turner. And in rounds 2 and 3, Cowie not only is able to outstrike Jalen Turner, but I actually think he might even mix in takedowns and get top time. I'm going to go Cowie Fernandez by decision.
Yeah, it's not a bad pick. Last time I picked Jalen Turner, he shit the fucking bed. Well, no, I picked him to beat Barbosa. What am I talking about? But I was very confident in Jalen Turner one time, and he shit the bed. Nearly knocked out Moicano, had Moicano unconscious, didn't go for extra shots. He just decided to try to aura farm and go for a finish, but fumbled. I wanted to go Cowie Fernandez, but there's been some photos that I've been looking at, those fight week photos that the fighters take before the fights to promote, like, I guess, the tail of the tape and shit like that. But I saw, like, the look of Cowie's eyes, and his eyes look messed up, man. Like, I don't think he had I don't think he looks healthy in this fight. I'm going to go with the Jalen Turner win here. I'm not confident in it. Not confident at all. But I think he's fought in the better level fight of comp. I think he might be healthier. I think it's just I'm gonna go with the experience edge on here. I could see Cowie just kick his legs off, and stuff like that. But I think Jalen's gonna beat him. I'll go second round finish for Jalen Turner. I think something looks odd about Cowie Fernandez this fight week.
Fair points, all in all. As we move on to the co-main event of the evening, the strawweight championship of the world, where we have Mackenzie Dern at 16-5 going up against Canada's Jillian Robertson, 17-8. Interesting fight here, a battle of two prolific finishers. You would think Amanda Nunes would have the most finishes in women history, but allegedly it's Jillian Robertson. She got a lot of subs, she got a lot of finishes. Mackenzie Dern, known BJJ phenom. It's a tough fight. because I do kind of see a world where Jillian Robertson could end up just being in half guard, getting top time and staying safe, kind of doing what Verna Jandaroba was trying to do. But I have my concerns with her on the feet. Mackenzie Dern, don't get me twisted, like she's definitely got some concerns on the feet as well, defensively especially. But between the two of them, I think she cracks harder. And I look at Mackenzie's losses; they're all good, bro. Like she's losing to the following people: Amanda Lemos, Jessica Andrade, she got knocked out. Yao Jian Yan, Marina Rodriguez, Amanda Ribas. I mean, these are all names that we recognize. I wanted to go Jillian Robertson, I really did. But even if she is able to get sustainable top time, I could see Mackenzie Dern throwing up submission attempts that swing her the rounds and close rounds. And on the feet, I just trust her more than I trust Jillian. I'm going to go Mackenzie Dern by. I could see a sub, but I'm going to go decision. I think Jillian Robertson shows heart in this fight. She shows a willingness and a game plan to stick by. And even though these are prolific finishers, I'm going to go with women's decision in this one. Actually, you know what? I could gamble. Should I gamble? How many subs you got, Dern? You got 8 out of 16. 50% of her wins are subs. 50% of her wins are decisions. Jillian's been sub before, but she loses decisions more consistently than submissions. She's lost 6 decisions. She's only been subbed 1 time. Who subbed her? I want to see the one sub. She got subbed by who? Was it early in her career? She got armed. Nope, that's grappling. Macy Barber. Myra Buena Silva. Okay, Myra Buena Silva got a first round armbar.
That's a big bitch.
25 minutes. She is a bigger girl, though. I kind of want to go sub, but I'll just go decision. I respect Jillian Robertson, so I'll go decision.
Yeah, same with Tony. I wanted to go with Jillian Robertson. I don't think Mackenzie Dern's good. I think she's ass. I think the only reason why she's got a belt is because of her ass. Not, I don't really like her. I think she's ass, man. I don't think there's anything good about her. I know it's women's MMA. I think they're all like not the best, but there's like normally the champs are the ones that look all right. She doesn't look bad, you know. She's out here looking good. She's the best looking fundamental fighter out of all of them. She's not really anything special in my opinion. I thought Tisha Torres beat her. I thought other people beat her. She's kind of won fights off of just looking hot. That's it. I want to go Jillian. I want to do it. Technically, I am picking her with this pick. I think she's going to win the fight, but she's not. I think I'm going to go with a split decision, Mackenzie Dern here. I think she's just going to win off a robbery, just looking like the hotter fighter. Like, I think it's just that the UFC knows what they're doing. I like Jillian Robertson. I think she's good, but I think they're just going to be like, oh, we need to make Mackenzie look good. So, you know, split decision. You know, it's a close fight. It's going to look like the Tisha Torres fight where she tries to like out grapple. She's going to look good, and she's just going to look good off just pull guard merchanting. She's not going to do anything damaging. She's not going to do anything like threatening. She's just going to have like a little bit of top time, but the most of the moments I think the numbers are going to sway on to Jillian, but they're still going to give it to Dern off of just takedowns or something like that. Like, I don't think she's going to win off just top control, minute winning or anything like that. No damage or anything like that, even though she's been looking more damaging now, but I'm going with Mackenzie Dern. Technically, it's a Jillian Robertson pick, but I think it's going to be a weird split decision where she shouldn't win.
Yeah. As we head on to the main event of the evening, the welterweight championship of the world, Islam Makhachev going up against Ian the Future Machado Garry. I'm gonna go Islam Makhachev in this one. I just think he's got a legitimate case for greatest fighter ever. The resume speaks for itself. What he's achieved: 2 division weight champion. He's on the verge of breaking the record for most consecutive win streak in the UFC history. The last guy to do that was Kamaru Usman, and very eerily similar kind of matchup. Funny enough to this one with Ian Garry. You know, Ian is like Leon Edwards, and Islam's like Kamaru Usman. He was on his pound for pound run. Eerily similar, but I think this time the grappler gets the job done. Ian Garry is a very good fighter. welterweight champion from Cage Warriors. He came right about the same like rookie class as Paddy Pimblett, and I never understood why he wasn't as hyped up as Pimblett. In hindsight, that's stupid to say. Like Pimblett obviously was more captivating, more charismatic, and had more of a fan base. But in terms of skill, performance, and what they brought going into the UFC, I thought Ian Garry was a very promising prospect, and I was right about it. I will say though, in his debut, it did look very shaky against Jordan Williams. He looked like he had herpes in that fight, and he almost got knocked out, but he found a way to get a step back counter and get the win. He's won just about every fight in his career, other than one of my, if my favorite welterweight ever against Shavkat Rakhmonov. Even though he lost that fight, he went the distance with him in 25 minutes in a cage with Shavkat. I do rate that. That speaks to the kid's toughness. That speaks to his willingness to compete. Another performance that shows that is the Carlos Prates fight. I bet Carlos Prates in that fight. That was a tearjerker at the end of that. But he showed even getting fucked up, beaten up, he will crawl his way to victory. He will fucking squirm and sprawl and scramble his way to get out. He showed his toughness in that fight too. I respect his wins. I think he's a very good fighter. I think he's got all the skills to potentially pull this off. The reason I pick Islam is because of two things. Ian, to me, has all the X's and O's in the technique. I don't like his finishing potential. At least at a UFC level, the only people he's finishing is Song Kanan and like D-Rod. And that's not really aging that well. Uros Medic did it better, honestly, if we're being honest. Um, who else has he finished? It's pretty much them, right? That's just it. Yeah. D-Rod, Song Kanan. And Jordan Williams, his debut. His debut in that. So he's had 11 fights in the UFC, 3 finishes. So he's gone the distance. He's gone 25 minutes, but it's a different style of fight. I don't think he's fought a real deal grappler. He's fought Bilal Muhammad. He didn't really wrestle like that in that fight. And even if you want to say he did, Bilal's wrestling is not Islam's wrestling. They're worlds apart in skill and all that shit. And Gabe Green. And Gabe Green's a lightweight. So I don't think he's really fought a wrestler. I think Islam is. I see sub or decision. But I kind of want to go sub because he's got long arms and like he has kind of like a longish neck. I could see Islam getting to a position where he could force the choke. Ian Garry, like when Shavkat got on top of him, he like wrapped his legs around him. Like, it's just bad. His defensive grappling on bottom is very bad. So I'll be bold. I'll go with what the champ was saying. He wants to look like the GOAT. You got to look like it. I want to go decision, but Islam said he's going to finish him in under 3 rounds. So I'm going to hear him out on that. Let's see if you can do it. I'm going to go 3rd round submission Islam Makhachev, where his pressure, his boxing, his countering ability takes away the cage from Ian Garry, takes away the center, and just gets single legs and takedowns. And eventually Ian tries to get up and scramble, and it'll lead to a bad position where he'll get his neck taken and get rear naked choked. 3rd round sub.
We already got our first fucking fight of the card wrong. We got Jeremiah Wells' shit wrong. I just wanted to break that down. We're gonna do a fight companion after this. I wanted to let y'all know. I just saw this shit on my fucking thing. He won via 3rd round sub. Yeah, that shit, bro. I look like a fucking idiot, bro. Remember, bro? Didn't I just say that? I said that.
Oh my god, people got rich, dude. He was minus 1,300 Orobai, and I saw after round 1 he was minus 5,000. I was Oh my god,
yeah.
That's your underdog. Ding, ding, ding. That's your big underdog with a fucking card. What?
Yep.
Philadelphia 1-0, but all right.
Yeah, my bad, y'all. My bad, Philly. And I apologize, Jeremiah Wells. I did not know. I didn't know you improved mentality wise. Fuck. But yeah, we're gonna do a fight companion after that. We're gonna talk about what we missed afterwards. Right now, we're getting into my prediction, and that's the main event. Tony just did his. Close fight. I wanted to pick Ian Garry. I know that sounds crazy. If y'all know me, normally I go with people that I don't like. I'm very unbiased, weirdly as it is. I say a lot of shit about people, but I am very unbiased. I'll pick them. I wanted to go Ian Garry, but I think he's gonna delusionally lose. Like, I think he's gonna lose the mental games. I know, like, lately the delusional factors go in favor of people, but I think he thinks he's gonna try to do some shit on the ground to Islam, and he's gonna get caught in a Darce. I'm gonna go with a third round Darce choke submission by Islam Makhachev. I wanted to go decision. I could just see him holding Ian Garry down for 5 minutes, like how he did Jack Della. But I think it's gonna be like the Charles fight where he catches him in a Darce or something like that. Well, he caught Charles in an arm triangle, but you know what I mean. I'm gonna go with a third round Darce choke win. Islam's really crafty on the Darce choke, man. I think he has one of the best Darce chokes in the game. I think he's gonna catch Ian Garry going in. I will laugh my ass off if I have another Jeremiah Wells moment where I was just making fun of the mental edge, but I guess Mick Tukbeck is not that guy. That's fucking crazy. But yeah, Tony, how do you want to do this? Do you want to leave the live and do a new one, or do you just want to start it off from here?
We're gonna do that. We're
All
gonna
right.
leave that. So these are official prediction pick, and then we're gonna go straight to our live. Join back, Ed. We'll be there. Appreciate y'all. Peace.
Yeah, we'll be back.